welcome to the Phillip Siddiq Show. We have two special guests on our show this time. For a good time call, if I had a phone, I would get it, have them call you or call me, but you know, we don't have the phone. So we have the director, Jamie Travis, and Katie Ann Naylon.
Yes.
Yes, screenwriter, producer. Now let's get rid of this doggone book and let's just talk turkey. How you guys doing?
Who needs a book?
We're doing great. We're so happy to chat with you today.
Oh, I'm so happy too. How did the film get put together? It reminded me of a film back in the day called Girl 6. This is what I thought the concept was before I saw the film.
Right. Very different film.
Oh, definitely.
You say?
Much different. Much different ending.
Sure. At the beginning and the middle, all the same.
Yes.
Yeah, we get that a lot. Well, you know, if you haven't seen the movie, then you think of like Shortcuts, or you think of Girl 6 and things like that.
Yes.
But it's definitely its own fresh take on girls becoming friends, sort of a late coming of age, sort of fun bromance or something, if you will. And the actual phone sex, or the sex comedy part, is sort of just a backdrop, really. It's a byproduct of my sordid past.
Okay. We're going to have to talk more about that off camera.
If you have a credit card.
Okay. You must have been okay, all right.
You sound like a whore. Stop it.
Trained in a school in Oakland, okay. Now, what was it like for you?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, that our film, it's such a, I think the number one adjective to describe this film, I think, is fun. It really is what we've seen as we've been touring the country and seeing people. So it's very different from Shortcuts, and very different from Girl 6. Like,
yes.
You know, and that's, I remember when I read the script, because I'm from Canada, the script came to me via email. I opened it up, and I was so excited.
Because Canadians get scripts via email.
Yes, only in Canada do we get those.
I said email.
But, you know, when I first heard that it was a phone sex comedy, I had a certain preconception,
right.
You know, thinking, oh, I don't think this is the type of movie I would even go watch. But, you know, I was so pleasantly surprised when I read the script. That it was smart, that it was fun, that it was a really original take, and that it wasn't just about raunchy phone sex, it was about female friendship, which is something that not enough movies are made about. And I think that audiences are going to have that same experience of surprise, because, you know, it's the shorthand for describing this film is that it's a phone sex comedy, and that's its hook. But I think that, you know, like Katie said, there's so much more going on here, and it really is a nice take on female friendship and what it means to find your best friend later in life.
You know, I have a lot of sisters, and I'm watching this film, and I'm wondering, are they talking to themselves like that? The kind of talk that I'm not privy to ever hear about.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think women are pretty irreverent and honest and open and funny, and I think the worst thing you could say to me is that I'm not funny, or that women aren't funny. Like, that kind of thing lights me up. I saw that in a comment on one of our reviews. Someone was like, well, women aren't funny. And I was like, oh no, I got so mad. I was really oiled about that. But Lauren and I did not set out to write a phone sex movie. We set out to write a movie about the odd couple. Two unlikely girls becoming friends. Just the way that in a romantic comedy, the unlikely couple opposites attract, and they find something really worthwhile. They each bring something different to the table. And that's the story we were telling, and the phone sex was just a way to inject sort of some really fun humor that we had some experience with. Or I.
Do you want to talk about that now?
Yeah, she said that. She ended that really quick. So
No, it wasn't. We in no way said let's make a sex comedy or let's make an Apatow-like comedy or anything like that. We just set out to write a story, really based on our friendship a little bit, about how we're very different people and that we are also really great friends.
Yeah, so, and that comes across with Ari, that Lauren. I mean, they start out as bitter rivals in that one scene in the car. Everyone, do not leave. You have to see that scene in the car, because that sets the tone for a lot of what goes on after that.
And it's in the trailer. So if you search the trailer, you can see that moment in the car.
Yeah. Then also women are, women can be very judgmental in like snap judgments, and if someone doesn't like someone, then you don't like them either, or
That's so true.
Or a quick impression is your lasting impression with women. I think there's a level of competition between women and like sort of a narrowed eye a little bit. And here we explore with these girls that the girl that could be your best friend is right under your nose, but a little party foul, and you could have missed out on her.
Right. Now, you being the director, so you directed a lot of shorts. This is like your first huge big film. How did you get the actors and actresses to trust your direction?
We all wanted the same thing. I mean, if I look back at like the most important part of this process was when I came down to LA and Katie and Lauren and Ari and I sat around Lauren's dining room table and really worked through the script and revised the script and found what we loved and what we hated and just turned it into something that we all loved in a very collaborative way. And I think in terms of gaining trust from actors, I think they've seen the work that I've done before, so they know I wasn't just picked up out of a barrel in the alley.
No barrel, just an alley.
Yeah. And I mean that's so much. I mean that's just an instinctive part of direction, and also just being for me. I don't know. It's like earning people's trust is not what I set out to do, but I wanted the best for the film, and I had a vision for the film, and in order for this film to work, they need to trust that what I see, and which was a very collaborative vision, mind you, is the right vision, and you have to give yourself over to that.
Well, I think he earned our taste right away, because we all had the same taste, and we thought, and Jamie has fine taste, and we really loved his work. So there was a part of it that was that, and then I think we spent a lot of time working on the script and working on our kind of teamsmanship before we shot, knowing we would only have 16 days, and there was no time to make a mistake or to have a personality clash or to not agree on a line or a scene or a moment. And so we just sat around the table and we read the script aloud again and again and again, and something didn't ring true or someone had an opinion, we talked about it right then. And I think that we developed that rapport, so when it was time to shoot, there was a trust had been built between Jamie and the girls, and
And had we not had that period, I don't know how this film would have ever gotten made, because we shot it in 16 days, which is an unearthly number of days to do anything.
Yeah.
I shot short films in 16. My first short film was 16 minutes. I shot it in 16 days. Of course, that was when I didn't know what I was doing at all. It was just,
right.
do what you have to do.
Even the lighting looks good, and then as I read 16 days, I'm like, how in the heck
His name?
did they get to look so good? Whoa.
His name is James Laxton. He's actually from San Francisco, our DP, and he was amazing. He still is. He's out walking around right now, being amazing. And we had some beautiful cameras. We shot on the Alexa, which is an amazing camera, and Jamie had found us this beautiful production designer, and they just made some kind of magic happen, and they kept making it happen, and we just got so lucky to have so many talented people that it looks amazing, and there was a great quality to what we did because we planned ahead.
It's a gorgeous looking film, and lighting can do a lot for films, and that's what I was like, saw the credits, I'm like, how many lights did they use? I want to see a behind the scenes DVD or something. I'm like, all that lighting. Now you're actors. First you got two of them that I love to death. Kevin Smith, the taxi driver.
Yes.
How did you get him? I mean, he is just...
Well, Katie slept with him.
Oh, okay.
No, I did not. Lauren is friendly with Kevin Smith, so she shot him an email and basically said, hey, here's the script, would you maybe want to do this? And come to find out later, unless he was fibbing, he didn't even read it, he just read his scene. He didn't read the whole script, and he was just like, yep, see you there, because he's such a fan of indie filmmaking, and he's a fan of ours, I guess, and so he came to do his part, and he was awesome, and so funny, and just really ran with it, and we let all the comedians really run with it, and kind of, gave them a jumping off point, and then they just did what they were going to do, and we got such great comedy out of them. We couldn't have asked for more there.
Seth, and he's gonna kill me. Jason, saw him in Jeepers Creepers the first time I saw the guy. excellent. He's the guy. I can't recall his last name.
Oh, Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin. Save me, save me, save me, save me.
Jason.
Who's
Jason?
Jason? What
Save
do
me,
I miss?
save me, please. Yeah. How did he get involved with the project?
Justin is a friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a few movies together, and he was such a dream to work with. And I think that I didn't really know how incredibly talented he was until he was in our movie. Like I mean, he's so good in everything that he everything that he does. But he brought so much to the role, and he brought so much to the process, and he was this real live wire of an improviser, and brought this energy that none of us saw coming, and often you didn't know what he was going to say in the next take, and it created this energy on set where I remember the day that he came on set for the first day.
The first day he arrived,
everything felt different.
Yeah, he's amazing. We were so lucky to have him. We're still lucky to have him be a part of the project. He really injected an energy and a comedy, and when people say they love the movie so much, like part of me is thinking like, there are a few of those jokes, and by a few I mean a lot, that didn't really come from me, because Justin was inspired by the script, but he certainly had his own take on stuff. And what a talented actor. I mean, he must, and to think he does that everywhere. He's all around town, everything he works on, he must be bringing the Justin Long to the table. And just how lucky that, we found him, but also wonderful that, Ari's had a very long career acting, even though she hasn't been the lead, that she's cultivated a really large group of people who adore her and adore her work, and they're also working in the industry, and she knows who to go to. And so, we reached out to Justin actually to play the role of Sean, but he wanted to play Jesse. And so we were like, okay, well, when Seth Desire's there, he definitely wanted to have a take on it, and he just ran away with it.
He did well. And actor who plays Sean, who's Ari's love interest.
Mark Webber. He's a little indie darling, and he came through our beautiful casting directors.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, his role was very nice. He wanted to connect and find love, and so did she. And
and they found each other.
Yes.
I know. I don't think it's weird, man.
Do that telephone. I found my first. That's right. We met. Yeah. Okay. See, I'm having a flashback. Sundance, you guys. How was it viewing your film at Sundance? You're in a theater. You're watching. You're waiting for the people to.
Well, I remember fast forward to being back at our condo and getting ready, and there were emotions. It was like about in the hour before the screening. And of course, we're all so excited. We made this film so quickly. We really hardly showed it to anyone. We never had an official screening until that night in January at Sundance. And I just remember tears rolling down the face of this one.
I got very emotional at the last second, and I was hanging on by a very thin thread, and I was just like, you guys, what if they don't like it? What's going to happen? And I know Ari had gone through the same thing, because she and I have the same sort of emotional psyche, and so she calls it birthday party syndrome, the idea that no one's going to show up or something like that. But I had that, and she actually talked me off the ledge a little bit, and Lauren was on the phone with me from her condo down the hall, and she was like, listen, it's going to play at 9, whether we go or not. There's nothing we can do about it. I say we head over there. It was like, okay. Like, it was out of our hands at that point. The train was on the track. And it was emotional. It was an emotional time. I was just so nervous that people, whether, I'm afraid of things being successful or of things failing, so I was in a real jam.
Yeah,
there.
real jam.
I was in a real jam.
But the irony of all this, and the surprise,
it
it wasn't a surprise to me. I knew that people were going to love this film at Sundance. I don't know, maybe I have a little more distance from it because I didn't write the script, I didn't birth it in quite the same way, but we played to 1,300 people at the largest venue called the Eccles, and the laughter was uproarious. We couldn't even hear the movie. Like, I couldn't even hear the movie, they were laughing so hard, and we had a standing ovation, and the most energetic Q&A. It really was, a really great milestone, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, we're in that space where we're like, is this normal? Because we'd never done this before like this, and then 24 hours later we sold to Focus Features, and the answer is that is not normal. That's pretty lucky.
Give you guys a hand.
Thanks.
Thank you. And now it's coming out across the country.
August 31st.
That's us meeting you.
It is. Oh yeah. I mean, this was when they invited me to see it. I went to see it. I'm laughing my butt off. Also, there are touching scenes in there too, and I'm like, man, this was much more than I thought it would be.
Yeah. It hammered away at your strong male facade. You got
Yes,
touched
it
with
did.
your
Yes, it
sensitive
did.
side.
Yes, it did. Yes,
Good.
it did.
Well, then we've
yes.
done our job.
Yes, it did. I mean, it was well shot, well made, and two girls. I mean, being friends. That's what I would call it. It's a girl friendship movie. Girls.
Yeah, bromance,
Exactly
something
what
like
it
that.
is.
Bromance.
Bromance.
Bromance, you know. Somebody called it a womance too. I was like, yeah, whatever. We don't have to make words, but it's a movie about girls, you know, finding their best friend. The Odd Couple with girls.
The Odd Couple with Girls. Perfect. The Odd Couple with Girls, you guys. For a good time call, go see the film. I guarantee you guys are going to have a wonderful, wonderful time.